everybody, it's me, Miss Branch, the art teacher with Enrichment City with the SmARTist art program. And what we are going to do today is learn about some primary colors. So after we watch the video, you're going to be able to do the project. So now, I'm going to show you what it's going to kind of look like at the end, depending on what you use, whether you use markers or crayons. I'll use markers to make sure you can see what I'm doing. And you're going to need some paper, a few sheets of paper, because you get to make more than one because you'll have extra pieces left over. You can use markers or you can use your crayons. And of course, you'll need a pair of scissors and some glue. Alright, so the first things first, if you're using a sheet of loose leaf paper like Miss Branch, we don't need the part with the holes. So right here on this red line, I'm going to cut that part off. And I'm going to put it off to the side because I can put it in my scrap bin to use for later. Now, for another project. Now, I need to fold this paper into thirds because there are, from the video, you learned that there are 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And they mix together to make the secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. So we need 6 spaces. To make 6 spaces, I'm going to fold this paper into thirds. So about, if it's loose leaf sheet paper, about the 7th line down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 or 8 would be good. And I'm going to fold to that line. Then I'm going to take the rest and fold over. Probably could have went to 8, but it's okay. It'll be close to the side. So now I folded my paper into thirds. I'm going to fold it in half one more time. And now when I open it up, I have 6 spaces. Now these 6 spaces, I need to start coloring the colors of the rainbow, the primary and the secondary colors. Can't be the colors of rainbow because indigo is not here. So let's see, I'm going to trace around the edges. Always when you're coloring, use the wide side of the marker so you can do it a lot quicker. So I'm tracing the outside. And then a quick way to color is to just make lines. Just go down in rows of lines. You can go down, then you can go up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And if you miss any little spots, you can go back in with the point and get those little spots. So there's one. Let's see. Again, trace around the edges. That way you stay in the area, in the square. You won't accidentally cut outside the square. Now, Miss Branch is left-handed, so I already started to smear some of the marker. That happens a lot when you're left-handed, as you end up going over your work. Up, down, up, down. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And again, if I missed any spots, I could just take the point and fill those in. Next one. Again, do the edges of the line. So I'm kind of outlining it. I have a good edge. And then again, up, down. Let's see. Now, next. Do the next one. Do the edges. Turn the paper to make it easy for you. You don't have to twist your body all up. And again, just go up and down with the wide side of the marker. You end up with nice, neat, colored in spaces. You don't end up with all those scribbles all over the place. Now, if you want the scribbles, that'll be a cool one. Maybe I should do one where I just scribble in the box. That was a cool idea. By talking about that, I just came up. So if I do this project again, I'll do scribbles. And that'll be even cooler. because that'll be different. So again, trace the edges. And of course, take your time. There's no rush. Never rush your art. You can always pause the video. You can always take your time. You can put it down and come back to it. You can think about it later. Just always just take your time. And still up, down, up, down, up, down. Take your time. Oop. I see one little spot there. A couple little spots there. And my last one. Again, just trace the edges first. It'll be easier once you're coloring on the inside. And again, just up and down. Down, up, down. Either way. Keep it going. Just go. And another reason why to trace the edges, so when you touch the color, you don't get the color into the other spaces. Although that might be an interesting project too. So, once you have your squares colored, you're going to cut them out. So, and the lines are already there for me. So, cut my squares of colors. Now, of course, if you have crayons, you can do it with crayons. Now, the first time I did it with crayons, I didn't color so dark. So, on my final project, it wasn't very dark. I probably should have colored a lot harder with my crayons to get a nice, dark, rich color. But, of course, you can use whatever you have. So, now, you just get to random. Now, we're going to make these into shaped rings. Now, to make them into shaped rings, I'm going to first start by folding them in half. Now I'm going to just fold it with the color side on the inside. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but it's just a lot easier. And I'm going to start with the square. Since this is, excuse me everyone, sorry about that, a square. So what I'm going to do is cut on the inside and make a smaller square, kind of like a square ring. So cut in a little bit on inside. And then turn, coming all the way down, and then turn. And now I have a square, or a square ring. And with the rest, I can make more. I just keep cutting until I run out of paper. There's another one, and I open it back up. There we go. And I'm going to keep going as I got some more space. Again, just take your time. And I still have this small square. I could cut one more out of it. A really small one. And you could keep going if you got the skills, but I'm going to stop here, because I don't want to cut myself. And then I can open these up. And I have even smaller squares. Ugh, it's giving me a hard time opening up. There we go. So I have my squares. So my next shape will be a circle. Now all of these shapes that we're doing are geometric shapes. Geometric shapes are shapes that have names. So if you draw a shape and it doesn't have a name, that's called an organic shape or a freeform shape, or freeform geometric shape. There are so many names for the organic shapes, but we just, I'm just letting you know. So I want to make this one a circle. Now to make it a circle, I have to cut a circle shape, or a semicircle. Semicircle means half a circle. So I'm going to start at one corner and cut a curve, and I'm going to come over here to this other corner and cut a curve. And so I have a semicircle, half a circle, and if I open it up, I have a circle. Now I want to make circle rings. I'm going to move these scraps out the way. So I'm going to do the same thing I did for the square, except I'm going to cut circles out. So I'm going to come in, and keeping it holding. Now always make sure you're cutting on the folded side. The folded side. Don't cut the open side. If you cut the open side when you make your first fold, you're going to end up with just two halves of a shape. And I'm just going to keep going until I can't go anymore. Now some shapes you might have like 2 or 3. And other shapes you can get 4 or 5. Just depends on the way you cut it. So now I have this extra little shape. I'm going to put that over there along with my extra little square. And I can open these up if they don't give me a hard time. And there's a circle. And there's a circle. And then the cool thing is that my circles get smaller and smaller. And another circle. Oh, really? Circle. 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 Now, I'm going to speed this up. I'm only going to cut one more because I don't want this video too long that you might get bored with my video. So let me hurry up and show you how to do the other shapes. So let's see, I did circle. Let me do a triangle, and I'll just cut one triangle out after I do the first one. Now, again, you're going to fold the paper in your square in half, but this time I'm going to cut a diagonal all the way across. And I made this a big triangle. Now, I'm just going to cut the middle out. I'm going to just do one for now, but when you're on your own, you can cut as many as you would like. So, I will cut this one, and I have my triangle ring. I'm going to put this off to the side. I'll save that for later. Now, I'm going to also show you how to make a rectangle. Now this is a square. Squares and rectangles are interchangeable usually. But what I'm going to have to do is cut off part of this square to make it a more rectangle shape, even though it was just a rectangle shape. But when I open it up, now cut the middle out. Now I have a rectangle shape compared to the square shape. See? Square, rectangle, square, rectangle, square, rectangle, square. Alright, so let me keep going. So now I have a square. Let's make a diamond shape. Now, to make a diamond shape, of course, I still got to fold this. What I'm going to do next is cut like I was making a triangle. So cut from one corner all the way across again. But this time, I'm going to come about midway and cut the other way, and I end up with a diamond shape. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out another diamond shape following the inside. And now I have a diamond. And one more shape, I'm going to make an oval. Now to make an oval, of course, I fold this in half again, but I'm going to cut from one side to the other side. I'm going to make it more like a C shape, not more of a circle. So like the letter C. So now it looks like a letter D, but now when I cut out the middle, I end up with an oval. Alright, so I can still make more ovals, I can still make more rectangles, and I can still make more triangles, but I'm going to save that for later, because the cool thing about having all the extra paper is that you get to make more than one picture. Now again, I don't need the holes, so let me cut that part off. Oop, aha. Let me get my scissors. And now I get to decide as the artist, is my paper going to be vertical or is it going to be horizontal? Vertical, horizontal. I think I'll go with horizontal for this one. And let's see, I have my oval, I have my triangle, I have my diamond, I have a rectangle. Okay, I'll use that circle, and I'll use that square. Now, as the artist, you get to arrange your artwork. Arrange means you get to decide where it's going to go, how it's going to look. Are you going to overlap them? Are they going to touch? Are they going to be by themselves? As the artist, you're making your arrangement, and you get to decide how you want it to look. Do you want them to be separate? Do you want them to kind of overlap? It'd be kind of cool. How do you want your artwork to look? This is your chance to make it however it pleases you. Now, you don't have to please your audience. You just have to create art for you and please yourself. Now, I think I like that with the circle up here and the triangle there. I like that oval over that square. I think I'll do that way. Alright, so now you got to glue everything down. Once you decide where it's going to go, carefully pick them up or flip them. If they're overlapping, move one out the way. Now, my rule with the glue, still not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. But this time, you're going to take your dot of glue and just put it on your fingertip. Because these are so thin, you don't want to really get too much glue on it. And the least amount of glue you use, the better it sticks. Now, I spread a lot of that there. And I'm going to bring some of that down here. And I'm just going to keep spreading that glue. And now I can lay it where I want it to go. Taking my time. Oh, let's see. I still got some glue on my finger there. Let me put a little bit more there. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put a little bit of a dot. I guess I used it all up. So it's a really teeny tiny dot this time. Okay. There we go. And again, a little dot, not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. And I'm going to go ahead and start spreading it on this one. And I see a lot of it got there, so I can spread it around. And I had them overlapping, meaning one on top of the other, but you can still see the other one. Now let's see, this one, I'm going to move out the way and flip this over. Again, not a lot, just a dot. A dab of glue will do. I know what? I'm going to put them in the corners and then spread the glue. That might work better. Yes, that is working better. So now I can put this one down where I want it to go. That was much better. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. So, I'm still putting a dot of glue on, or I could probably put the dot at the corner. One. And I'll put 1, 2. You can always experiment, but still only use a dot. And spread that dot. And spread both of those dots. Yep, that worked better. So, even Miss Branch is always still learning new ways and coming up with what works better. And always do what works best for you. Because what works best for me might not work best for you. So you got to experiment and invent what works good. So, one. I think I'll put a dot there. So let's see. I'll come this way, spread that dot, spread, and the rest on my fingers, spread that way. Boom. There we go. And one more. Ugh, that was way too many dots. But they're very tiny dots, but still spreading them around. And I had that right there at the end. So again, as the artist, you get to arrange your artwork. You get to make it how you want it to look. You can do all kinds of things. Now, this one I used a small rectangle and a bigger oval. And you can see they are different colors because you get to decide which color gets to be what shape. You get to decide as the artist. Now, again, if you do it in crayon, you might want to color a little darker with the crayon, unless that's what you want. When you want the light colors looking like pastel colors, pastels are just a lighter version of a color. But you get to choose. So, I will see you for our next project. And I hope that you will make more because you have extra paper and you still have more shapes to make. So everyone, I will see you next time. Bye!